Mississippi State at Alabama. It is a 9 p.m. start, which is awful. Alabama comes in as a 14.5-point favorite. A little bit surprised on that. Trying to figure out what the over-unders. I want to say it's 56.5, which is kind of interesting as well.
46.5.
No, that's not right.
There's no way. Says.
It is. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, 46.5.
Holy sheesh. That's crazy. Okay, well.
Both teams run the ball a lot.
Yes.
Or probably will.
But last week, that is a very low number. Last week, Mississippi State on the road in South Carolina, you finally got a little bit of a glimpse. And I'll tell you what, I was in the camp of saying that I thought it was good for Zach Arnett to kind of come in and stick to his guns on who he wanted, or what he wanted to do is like establish an offensive identity. And they did that. Like they had been running the football. You saw the game against Arizona where they still only had, I believe it was like 17 attempts or something like that. Even though it went to double overtime, they ran the football. And then you saw the game against LSU where they really, really struggled. And then they go up against a team like South Carolina, who has been horrible in the secondary and then horrible on the offensive line, but especially in the secondary. And you finally get a game out of your star that you've had for years. Will Rogers came in 30 of 48 for 487 yards. Now, surprisingly, he only had one touchdown, one interception. So that is kind of a shocking number to throw for almost 500 yards, only have one touchdown. But they were not able to run the ball. They had, I think this is for the full game. I saw from our guy, SEC Stat Cat, Greg Brooks, great dude. I've mentioned on here before. He noted that in the game against South Carolina, their running backs had a negative yards before contact. Like it's behind the line of scrimmage. They were getting hit at the point of contact, which is horrible. So I think the only key to success here, if you are Mississippi State, you're going to have to hope you can throw the football. I've said this stat 1,000 times. Mississippi State has scored one touchdown in 3 straight years against Alabama combined, and it was on the last play of the game last year. I was watching it with you at your house up in wherever, like Bumblefuck. It's like 3 hours away. But no, so like I think that this could be interesting. I think especially for the first half. And if you're Mississippi State, you want to hang around as long as you can and keep it close, because this is the first road start for Jalen Milroe in his career. He didn't have any last year. He came in on the road against Arkansas. Remember, he was 1 of 4 for 3 yards in that game, passing the ball. So on the road in Starkville, late at night, probably a raucous crowd. Cowbells will be ringing. What do you think about this game?
The low total makes me believe that Mississippi State's not really going to score very many points per usual. I think it could be. I think you could see a couple. I think this will go over because I think Bama will have some sort of like special teams or defensive touchdown. I really like the way they're playing defense. Mississippi State was very, very lackluster against LSU, a team who we found out maybe doesn't have the greatest defense, and they still really struggled. So I've got Bama 38, Mississippi State 13. I think Bama's going to put up some points. So that would be over the total. And I think they cover the 14.5. I think Bama is on a little bit of a mission here to prove that they're not totally out of it like everyone thinks they are.
What interests me most about this game is this, and before I give you my prediction, and that is, how does Jalen Milroe look on the road? And then as a team, how does Alabama look coming off a really, really big and needed win against Ole Miss? Because we saw this in the start of the year against Texas, and Tyler Booker comes out afterwards and saying how they weren't as focused as they needed to be during practice that week. And it's like, how are you not focused? How are you not focused for like what's arguably the biggest game on the schedule against Texas? And it's week 2. Like how is that not at the forefront of your mind all off season? Not only just for that week, but all off season. You come off a game where you finally piece some things together, especially in the second half, and look, at least for 30 minutes, a lot like some of the Bama teams of the past, right? Are they able to come back out there and stack weeks? Are they able to come back out there and put together a game where you leave Starkville and not only with a win, but like confident?
Good. Yeah.
Because here's the thing too. You're going to College Station next week. And I love how this potentially sets up for Alabama, because College Station is going to be a very tough environment. 3:30 CBS game. It's going to be hot as shit. It's going to be a very, very difficult environment. They're like, That's a big game for A&M if they want to achieve any of their goals, just like Alabama. So this is a good setup. You're going to a house of 60,000 people, so it's like half the size basically of Kyle Field. How do you handle everything on the road? How does the offensive line look like with pre-snap penalties and all that kind of stuff and the cowbells? A lot of really good, I think, can come out of this game. And I wonder if they leave Starkville with confidence and not just a win. I got Bama winning 28-10 though.